I'm Kevin Sheedy, and you're listening to the Not Bitter, Just Better podcast.
Not bitter, just better. The all-new Everton podcast.
Okay, so it's time to look ahead to the visit of Manchester United to Goodison at the weekend.
It's a game that I think it's fair to say we've been looking forward to all season, really, isn't it? Even before, you know, we've sort of got ourselves in the position we're in at the moment in the league. Obviously, the return of David Moyes is something that we looked for as soon as the fixtures came out and on the calendar, and it was quite disappointing to see it was so close to the end of the season, really.
I think it's a good job for him that it is, because when the feeling was a little bit more bitter towards him earlier on in the season, I think it could have been a completely different atmosphere.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've spoke about this, but I was there at the game away at Old Trafford this season. You know, our best away performance, you would say, this season. Without a doubt, going to Old Trafford and winning for the first time in a long while, and you know, I saw the sort of level of banter he was getting there from 3,000 Evertonians. So from 35,000 Evertonians, it should be interesting. Yeah,
but you talked about that game at Old Trafford. This is going to be a very different challenge, isn't it? Because Manchester United...
It is, because we went there with absolutely nothing to lose, and the shoe's completely on a different foot now.
Well, also, if you look at it, they, you know, they might have been a bit of a laughing stock this season because they haven't managed to hold a place in the Champions League places. But they are by far the best away team in the league, aren't they?
Yeah, a lot of people, you know, I've been speaking to a lot of people. I was speaking to people after the Crystal Palace game, even this week, and they were saying, you know, it'll be different against United. They're the teams we beat. We raise our game against these teams. United's a formality. It'll be easy.
No chance.
And, you know, they've been terrible this season. Well, they haven't been terrible. And he certainly haven't been terrible away from home. As you say there, the best away record in the league. Not Chelsea, not Liverpool, who were smashing everyone out of the sight. Not us, who were dead hard to beat. Man United, they have the best away record. You know, away from the pressure of Old Trafford, they haven't got anything to lose, have they? They really haven't. So, you know, the pressure's all on Everton, I suppose. It
really is, and you know, a Man United win, and we might not be looking at fifth. You know, it could be really could set things up. Do you think?
Well, you know, it'd take a lot for us to miss out with our goal difference. I think it'd take a lot for us not to finish fifth, because I think we could afford to lose against City and United and probably still finish fifth, even with Tottenham winning both the games. United, it's going to take quite a bit of a swing, isn't it, really, for us to be caught. But ideally, we don't want to lose both those games, do we? So, you know, you look at United at the league in a minute. They've not played for a while now, have they? Going back over.
No, we talked about their away form, and it was the last match was away, and it was a bit of a one-sided affair.
On the 5th of April, away to Newcastle, where they won 4-0, come out 4-0 winners.
Which, they needed that rest, didn't they? Because they had Rooney playing with a painkiller injection in the European game, didn't he?
They did. So obviously in that game they didn't have Rooney or Van Persie. They start off with Hernandez up front with Juan Mata getting a start just in behind him, which is his preferred position.
The number 10, which is why Jose let him go, wasn't it? Because he fancied his other number 10.
And it paid off straight away, because obviously Mata scored twice. Chicharito scored as well.
He set up Januzaj
as well. He did, and then a bit of a consolation right at the death when Newcastle had gone to sleep for Januzaj as well, to leave them winning 4-0. And probably one of their better performances this season, you would say. Looking at the team they put out, you know, again, you look at the teams they're putting out on paper at the moment, and you compare that to some of the Man United teams in the past. I mean, look at the back four: Evra, Jones, Smalling and Valencia. Now, you think of some of the Man United back fours in the past, like when they used to put out like Irwin, Bruce, Pallister and Neville, for instance, and then you look at that and that's not a Man United quality back four, is it?
So Vidic doesn't look like he's going to feature. I don't know. I mean, what's the situation on Vidic?
I'm not sure, but I mean, what is the point in now playing Vidic for the rest of the season? He's already decided he's going to Inter Milan. Surely you've got to start giving the other lads a bit of a go, haven't you?
He's the best centre-back, isn't he, still?
He is. Ferdinand's still there. Obviously, I mean, that'd be a massive sign of respect, I think, if they went with Vidic and Ferdinand against us. I would expect to probably see Jones and Smalling, or maybe one of them with one of the old guards, really. Yeah,
so, I mean, you've got to fancy, if Lukaku's on his game, to bully Jones and Smalling if he's on his game, haven't you?
I would have hoped. I would have thought we can get something out of them. We could definitely score. Again, we think Rooney's going to be back for this game, don't we?
Yeah, all the news this week is Rooney is likely to play, or he's likely to be available for selection. Moyes isn't going to leave him out, though, if he's available, is he?
I wouldn't have thought so, but then, after Chicharito scored in the last game, do you want to take him out?
He's the most... I don't know.
Do you want to move Matters out wide, maybe, and drop Rooney in?
Could do.
Into midfield? I don't know is the answer, but obviously Matters seems to be the informed player at the moment. In the last game he started Matters in the centre of a three with Young and Kagawa either side. I've got no other choice at the moment really than to pick Matters as my man to watch. He's completely the obvious man to watch, but he's clearly the informed player for them at the moment. What I am hoping for as well is the fact that usually when I pick a man to watch, they don't start, they start on the bench, so I'm actually trying to jinx Mata into being on the bench.
Can't you pick Mata, Fellaini, Rooney and Loads as your man to watch?
Are you really worried if Fellaini starts at the moment?
Come on, he's going to be out to prove something, isn't he?
I think he's been awful so far this season for them, and I'm probably now jinxing us, aren't I, with some bad luck, but I wouldn't be too worried if Fellaini played. I think he looks totally out of depth playing in the anchor role in midfield for them.
Yeah, the Man United fans seem to speak very highly of Kagawa, and they seem to think that their fortunes earlier on in the season were down to Moyes not giving Kagawa a run.
I think he's just one of those players who's being played out of position. The problem with Man United is they've got Rooney, Januzaj, Kagawa and Mata who all want to play that number 10 role.
Yeah.
You can't play 4 players in that number 10 role as Everton now, because we've got about 4 players who want to play there as well.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see what sort of team he puts out.
With regards to you saying that, we've got 4 players competing for that number 10 role, who's going to take it?
I've completely given up trying to guess what team selection.
Let's do the easy part again.
You've got to go Barry and McCarthy. You can't mess about with that again.
Yeah, no. So we know that's going to. Well, we're assuming that's going to happen. McCarthy is said to be fit for this game. It's going to be the same defence and goalkeeper. It's going to be Lukaku up top. So it's the same dilemma we have every week. But it should be a little bit clearer this week, because Deulofeu just didn't really perform when given a chance. Naismith came on and scored again. Barkley, he'll probably get an opportunity.
I would probably start with Osman, Naismith and Manolas.
I think he will start with Barkley, Naismith. No, I'm stuck now, because I'm thinking Manolas on one wing, and I don't think he's going to put Naismith on the wing, so I'm going to need to balance it out. Osman. I think he'll go with Osman.
That's why I chose Osman, just for a bit of balance. So, and Osman and Baines on the day do have a little bit of an understanding and link up if you play Osman sort of heading out towards the left. So, again, we've struggled, trying to decipher who the team's going to be all week. I do think we've got enough to beat them. I think, as we've said before, the Goodison crowd's going to be incredibly important in this game. We need to get a positive attitude going. We need to get a good atmosphere going. Let's not make it all about David Moyes. Let's make it about Everton, and let's make it about our push for the Champions League. If we play 90% of what we did against Arsenal, we'll destroy them.
Yeah, I hope, we'll have a little bit of a sing-song, as we said earlier on in the show. I mean, obviously, YouTube listeners won't know what we're going on about. Yeah, but I'd rather it be 60 grand, Seamus Coleman than stuck with Moyes, Man United. Because if we're singing about Seamus Coleman, then it means he's doing something good.
I'm fairly certain if we go 1-0 up, then Stuck with Moyes will be the loudest song you'll hear all day. But let's not sing that until we've got a right to sing it. Let's not give them any edge at all by egging them on in any way.
It's difficult to say playing football negative way when they're just off the back of a 4-0 away win, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And we all knew it was going to take him a bit of time because who's come out today? And I think it's Big Nev, isn't it?
Big Nev has come out and in I think very classy terms.
Big Nev style,
as apparently, I don't know. I just saw this on the News Now ticker, so I don't know whether this is a direct quote, but it's something that I completely agree with. David Moyes has been given a shitty stick with that Man United job.
He has been handed a shitty stick.
And you know what? I don't know whether we talked about this when we were doing the other feature. I really think he did kind of get dropped in it a little bit, and he got a bit of a raw deal when Ferguson stepped down and basically handpicked him to succeed him with a very, very ordinary side that won the league, but a year on.
Yeah, he did, but at the end of the day, it was his choice to go, wasn't it? So he knew what he was taking on board, and now he's got to live with his decision, and I'm sure he will.
Ferguson was very, very, very smart in stepping down at that time. Because,
of course he was.
Yeah, that time, it was, let's say, aging squad. We talked about Vidic, we talk about Ferdinand. You've hardly kicked the ball between them this season. You've got Everton who's on his way out. How do you replace those players in a summer?
Of course. Let's not make this all about Moyes, though. Let's remember that we haven't looked back at all since the day he left, and we found our Bobby. And, I'm just hope that the pro Roberto Martinez songs are louder than the anti-David Moyes songs.
I hope so.
That, to me, that's the ultimate sort of giving Moyes the finger a bit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If we show that, we're now better without him, then that's the ultimate way.
It's like, in a way, it's like showing him you got dumped by your bird, but then you go out and get a supermodel.
A fit bird with better shoes.
Yeah, with better brown shoes, yeah. So, and something that we haven't touched on the podcast this week, no mean feat. We've broke our Premier League total points haul.
Robbie's got more points this season than Moyes ever did.
Yeah, and any other Everton manager has. It's our records haul of total of points, and there's still 4 games left. So there was doubters on Roberto. Nobody's a doubter now. We had a poor performance midweek, poor performance last week, but managed to 3 points. But Roberto is doing an outstanding job. Let's make it about Roberto. Let's make it about Everton. Who cares about David Moyes? He had a bit of a failure in his first season, but let's keep our Champions League dream alive and do it.
Right,
boys.
It's time for my prediction. Somebody came on our Facebook page this week and said, we asked for a bit of feedback on the podcast, and some lad said, it's good, but who's that lad who always says we're going to get beat in the predictions? Well, that will be me. However, I think I've only actually predicted we get beat about 3 times maybe this season. So I don't always predict us to get beat. I just try and go wherever my gut feeling is. And my gut feeling this week, you'll be happy to know, is I think we'll win 2-0.
Well, I've got to say you'd have that. 2-0. Topping even the 1-0 when Oviedo scored, it would just go off. And a great place to be, Goodison, when those... it's a big Sunday, really, isn't it? The whole thing. There's something like 5... games on the telly, isn't it?
There's 3 games on a Sunday. We're the latest game, 4:10 kick-off, which is a bit bizarre, just to fit us in for TV. And then there's a game on the Monday night as well. So in the space of 24 hours, or just over 24 hours on TV, you've got Liverpool, Arsenal, City, ourselves, United, everyone all playing, Chelsea all across the 2 days. So it should be a bit of an interesting weekend.
So we get time to play as early, do you reckon? And watch about 9 hours of football?
I think that's going to definitely be on the cards. I'm playing myself Sunday morning, so I'll be getting changed as quick as I can and getting out to watch the football. Fingers crossed Arsenal get beat.
Yeah, well, I mean, just for non-Everton reasons, we hope Norwich can do something they haven't managed to do for a good few seasons, and that's halt Liverpool. And they just seem to they seem Suarez every time he plays gets a hat-trick, doesn't he?
He does, yeah. But who's Norwich manager now?
Oh, Neil Adams there.
Exactly.
Come on, Neil.
He's got to have a little. He can't like the shake, can he? Let's face it.
No, yeah.
So, if I had to put money on Norwich beating Liverpool, there's not a chance I'd do it in a million years. But so we need somebody to beat them because this is getting scary now. Yeah.
So we want Norwich to win. We want Arsenal to slip up. We want the Mighty Blues to take all three, and that'll be a nice way to end what has been a hit and miss week.
It's an interesting game for Arsenal, isn't it? Playing Hull, it's a bit of a sort of precursor to the FA Cup final, but Yelovich can play. Yelovich hat-trick, it'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, that's about it for another podcast. Just coming up to an hour and a half. I want to say thanks again for everyone to listening.
To listening.
Yeah.
Did you suddenly come from Wigan for a minute? Listening. Yeah. Thanks for listening to Tit Rugby Podcast.
Yeah. If you're listening on SoundCloud, check us out on iTunes. Just subscribe on there, and it goes automatically to your device on Thursdays. Although we are a day late today.
We are a day late,
unfortunately. And to YouTube as well. Check us out on there. We gave you all the links earlier on. Go and follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. We generally get back to it when we can. So.
We try, unless you're an idiot and we just ignore you.
Yeah.
Now, we even respond to the idiots most of the time, don't we? It's only cop-out we try to ignore. I've had to block so many this week. They've been all over it. They don't like anybody criticising Steven Gerrard, do they? Have you noticed?
No, I wonder why they keep spelling yawn wrong.
I don't get it myself.
Anyway, leave you to work that one out. Later, Blues.